Hello, everybody. I am Bald Dr. Mike, and you know what that means. Joining me, as always, is our party hosting co host.
Read below. Read below.
Now, you guys remember.
Yeah. Mike's read below. Read below. Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
See, I don't even have to give you my social media recommendations. All I have to tell you is make sure you hit subscribe right now. Because when we hit 1,000, Kelly's throwing a party for all of us. He said if I shaved my head, he'd do it. Here we are.
It's not quite how it went, but
I'm a
um,
man of my word.
I do like. I think I will start to refer to you as Bald Mike in the write ups on the YouTube stuff versus Doctor Mike. You're fake doctor because I bought a
I'm like the evil version. I have a shaved head and goatee.
evil Doctor Mike. There you go. Excellent. So what are we here to talk about today, sir?
So this is the day at the time we're recording this. This is the day after Owner's Day, the first Owner's Day for both Kelly and I, although he's been an owner much longer than I have.
Indeed, and the good news too. If you haven't connected up to the at games, and we'll include a link in the description in the YouTube channel or in the YouTube video here. But the they're going to actually have another one. It's not going to be a year before we get the next one, so
Oh,
there'll be another opportunity before that. And there's a really good really good Facebook group out there that's actually covering a lot of this. They're doing a good job of kind of staying on top of things, and so we'll include a link to that. If you're an AtGames fan or buying some of this stuff, you absolutely need to be a member of this group. So we'll give it a shout out.
very nice, very nice. So I think the first and most important thing, Kelly, is our not unboxing, unveiling of what we actually purchased yesterday. So, sir, what did you end up picking up during the only thing that really mattered on February 14th as far as making purchases?
There you go. Um, so as usual, you have outdone me, and all I did my one small purchase was the gamepad. So I did actually buy the controller. I looked long and hard at the Legends Mini, and finally opted against it reluctantly. It was very tempting. But how about you, sir?
So I was back and, as you know, back and forth because I was keeping Kelly up to date on this. Like, there's no way I'm getting this. Maybe. And then I did start rewatching that Tetris documentary, so that definitely pushed me over the line for a little bit. And I was like, Tetris is a great game. I do love Tetris. It is universal. Just kind of going down that path.
I need that
Then,
artwork.
yeah, I need Tetris in here. People are going to walk into this game room. They're like, hey, Tetris, and ignore everything
There
else.
you go.
Um, so I was kind of back and forth, and then like midweek, I was pretty much set. Like I'm gonna get the mini, and then I saw a posting on the Facebook group saying that the dimensions would put it at well under 4 feet, and that
Well,
was
2 inches, right?
well, that's too short. So
Okay.
I'm not an especially tall person, but I'm just over 6 foot. That is, I'm not, sitting down to play my games. The purpose of the game room is the standing at the arcade, the experience. That's why I hired that kid to work after school at the old time photo
That's
booth.
right. Do that. Have the quarters. Do the whole thing.
Yeah. I had the quarter guy walking around. So that was kind of off-putting to me. But then I saw a bunch of videos that people were doing, and I saw this in multiple posts and multiple videos, where people were saying that it was going to clock in size-wise somewhere around the iArcade unit, which is smaller than Arcade One Up, but not that much smaller, like not sub 4 foot smaller. And I've seen this in multiple posts, so I'm trusting you guys. You guys owe me a bunch of money.
There you go.
If this isn't true.
You can build your own
But it
riser
kind of
if you
made
need to.
sense. And it kind of made sense because one of the things I was talking about before too is the width, especially only being one player, and it does look like that's sort of taken up by that. While no dimensions, even on Owner's Day, were available for it, like official dimensions on the sale page, it did confirm that that is a just swappable controller with the arcade mini joystick. So you can kind of get dimensions from that as far as the width, which is really narrow. But then I started measuring the game room. And there is a plan to eventually knock out a wall so that we can have a skee ball lane in there.
Yeah.
And those are like 9 feet long. So we're going to have to knock out a wall to make that a feasible thing, because I already have the longer wall with arcade cabinets lined up on it.
So are you familiar with the concept of load bearing? just before you knock the wall out, just wondering.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, sure.
No worries. There'll be a skee ball machine there.
That's right. That was how the Romans used to
unbearable to not have a skee ball lane.
The Colosseum was built on skee balls, so you're absolutely fine.
That's all you need. Yeah. So as we knock down that wall, put the skee ball lane there. In the meantime, that's going to be like the last thing when it's kind of getting towards, all right, the game room's nearly finished kind of thing. And, you know, apparently other house projects take priority over that. So that'll be probably a couple years off. So in the meantime, I can still fill this room with games. And the way that I was planning it, the one wall, which you've seen pictures of that has a number of cabinets there, can still fit another cabinet in there. So there's going to be another cabinet there, and you still have space between the doorway and the cabinets. It's not like flush with it or anything crazy. So that's good, because that gives me 4 cabinets, with one of them being the 4-player turtles there. So that's a decent amount of space. Smaller on the other side because there's stairwell that comes down on the other side. So the way that I've been measuring it out, planning on having the Legends pinball, and then hopefully when they do more shooting cabinets, a shooting cabinet from Arcade 1-Up, House of the Dead, make it happen. And then there'd be room really for one more cabinet there, the way that it is now. So
hey, be sure before we publish this, shoot me a recent photo of kind of where the eventual home will be for your AtGames, so we can kind of let the folks kind of get a full appreciation of that.
Sure. So there'd be enough room for one more cabinet, but there would be gaps between them, and I could move the stuff closer, but it wouldn't be quite enough space to fit another cabinet in there. So that's where I finally got tipped over the edge. I was like, I could fit that in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was like, that'll fit like right up against the steps. And because it doesn't look quite as deep either, it won't even stick out that far. So I think I'm good. So my only thing is then the height. I'm really hoping you iArcade people, wherever you're getting that info from, are correct, that it's somewhere in that range and I'm not like sitting on the ground playing this.
Yeah, but that's solvable, because you can ultimately build it. If you have to put a little bit of a riser on it, that's great.
Yeah.
And the awesome thing about Tetris art is it's blocks. So you need to...
Like, no, that's the official Tetris riser.
Yeah, so there you go. It's a block.
See, it's a square.
Yeah.
It's one of the square pieces.
You're good.
Yeah, and then I did think that as well. Worst case scenario, if I have to throw it up on a riser, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
So, or just put something under it to get an extra few inches if we need it. It's not that big a deal. So then it came down to the price and the shipping. Now, the original announced shipping cost was going to be $83.
Yep. Yeah, and I originally had it at $0 because I can't read, but yes.
Yeah, or Kelly only $0
free shipping.
The special Kelly tool price of $0 for shipping. So when I got onto the page, I was still not 100%, and I was actually texting Kelly a couple times throughout the day. Yeah, I think I'm getting it. Nah, I'm not sold yet. But they did. So the more I was looking at it, it did confirm the pinball kit would not be included on the standard version of this. So I was like, okay, that's what, $50-$60 on its own. Then you're going to get the 6 months of ArcadeNet. And then there was a thing like if you pre-ordered, you get this extra month of ArcadeNet, which you said you wanted to talk about in a minute. So I was like 7 months of ArcadeNet, the pinball kit. It's going to fit, for the time being. And then once I knock down that wall, I'm going to have room for more cabinets anyway. So I just can keep this off in a corner somewhere, plugging into the AtGames ecosystem. And again, it'll give me a chance to really play around with ArcadeNet, having the 6 or 7 months of it without spending more money out of pocket. So I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to pull the trigger and go ahead with this. So I'm happy that I did it, especially because today it's just up for regular sale. And that cost is $400 without the without the pinball kit, and of course no arcade net. So even if you skipping the arcade net, even if you just add the pinball kit and then shipping, you're well over $500 at this point for it. So
So do you
I
have
definitely made out the price.
so do you have the code? So do you have your like 6 months of ArcadeNet now already, or
No,
okay?
no,
Yeah,
my understanding, and again, I should have read it all better, but from the email I got, my understanding is when I put in my actual order, because this was just the $20
right.
reservation. When that switches to the actual order, I believe I get my 6 months, but I got a code for 1 month now.
So you did get and you got a code for 1 month because of your purchase of the mini, or the D pad.
The mini.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So as listeners of the show know, I have been reluctant, and some folks have continued to challenge me on it, and that's fair. Just go, man, $20 a month, I can't do it. But as I went through and I ordered the D pad and I got the memo back that said, okay, congrats, you're going to get an hour of ArcadeNet. Here's where you'll need to go. Here's a PDF that tells you how you need to do it. And I put down just the $20 for the controller, just the
Okay.
$20 hold as well. Because there's no code to be found for me in anything right now, which I assumed was, well, they're probably not going to give you that free month until you actually purchase it. So I'm assuming that's why I don't have an actual. I mean, I couldn't find a code anywhere. I saw the path.
I could be totally wrong when I go back and read my order information, but I was pretty sure that there was a code there.
Okay,
Now
so
maybe it was just an order code for that month, like something tacked on to the order. I'd have to go back and reread it, but there was some sort of a
okay.
code there.
Well, let me know because
Mhm.
I did. As I went through the pathway, which AtGames does a great job in running down that pathway a lot, on hey, buy ArcadeNet. I did see the 6 months for $60 option, so that makes it $10 a month. That makes it something I'm willing to do. So if you're actually good and can jump on ArcadeNet for a month now, I might jump on that 6 months so that I can kind of enjoy that as well, and then we can have broader options for some of our pinball options and all that. So just let me know if you're good for a month or if I need to hold off. But I think I am actually, even though I've kind of consistently said I'm not spending 20 a month. If there's a $60 for 6 month option,
Well, I mean, either way, if you purchased it now, do you have to start it now?
it's 90 days, I believe. They said you've got to use the
Okay.
code within 90 days. So check and see what you've got, and then we'll kind
Okay.
of sync it up. But what you'll do is if you're actually able to kind of get on ArcadeNet, and I can confirm I can do the 6 months for $60, I'll do that too, and that'll just give us even greater options to do some stuff. And then you'll wait until you clear to actually purchase the cabinet, and then so I might end up just re-upping on my 6 months again. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. And that's what I was thinking too. Before I knew how much it would be without the owner's day deal with it, one of the things I was thinking is like, well, with 6 months of ArcadeNet, I'll get to play around in there, and at the very least, we'll get some extra gameplay footage and things like that to
Yeah.
talk about content for the channel that you guys should subscribe to. Because when we hit 1,000, Kelly's throwing us all a party.
Yeah. Well, pandemic. So there's that.
I did it. Did my part.
Yeah.
It's Kelly's
Again, I
turn.
think review the film carefully, and
Go to the highlights.
you'll kind of see that someone may have shaken their head for no reason, but that's okay. That's the way it goes. Yeah, no, so that's, but it is cool, yeah, and boy, it does really look. Like I said, I continue to have an issue with the $20 price point for a month.
20 steep.
However, if you can kind of knock that down in any way, boy, there looks like there's a lot of good stuff. And to be kind of relieved of the burden of you've got an hour worth of pinball, 2 hours worth of ArcadeNet, plus so many more games opening up for you on there. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff to it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, and so we'll hopefully soon here gain some experience and share what our experience is with that. and it was interesting. They had some problems with Owners Day. There were some things around, going in and making sure you kind of updated your device to the most current version, and some messages that were supposed to come through that worked for some folks, didn't work for other folks. So I think that's some things that AtGames is working on. It's probably one of the reasons they're looking to have another one of these sooner than a year on some of that. But it was the I think the 5.20 update. Again, the credits will, or little captions will correct me if I'm wrong on that. The firmware update that somehow, through dumb luck, I ended up already getting on my core, and my core was good with that, which is awesome because I want to mention something about that in a second. But as I went on the Legends Ultimate unit on a regular basis, I went to the update. It kept giving me an error message, and a lot of people ran into that they could not get the most recent update. And so on Owner's Day, I tried repeatedly, no luck. Today, I was able to actually go in and apply it. What's kind of exciting about that is that it introduced some improvements to the controller. Things you can actually set profiles up on your core for individual controllers, which actually let me do a little bit of remapping that I'm not 100% where I want to be, but I'm so much better. And I crossed my fingers that it was going to help me on the Wi-Fi thing with my Xbox controller, but not so much luck on that. But in terms of remapping, particularly the A and B buttons on the Xbox One controller, in some games translated to, well, it's the A and the right button, is the B to do back, just for general navigation. I was able to go in and kind of remap the whole controller, and that's working fantastic. So they're continuing to work on things like getting various controllers to work better with the core, to work better with the Legends. So but that's kind of been their deal, is these ongoing firmware updates. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Very nice.
Excellent. So, outside of your false allegations that I'm going to have a party when we reach 1,000 subscribers, anything else for this show, sir? Bold Mike.
No, I think that's it. Everybody, make sure you guys subscribe. 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 of us packed into Kelly's house.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.